Counter-Strike 2 just got its first major update since the game's official release. It's about time. Greetings, TheWarOwl greets you. We have the return of Arms Race with 2 maps, a rechargeable Zeus in competitive, a new case, a new knife, the ability to place stickers wherever you want, and hey, look at this, netcode improvements to reduce peekers' advantage. Doomers are devastated, even more devastated than they normally are. As it turns out, Valve is working on the game, reintroducing missing features from Global Offensive, adding new features, and fixing things that need to be fixed. I said in my last video that as soon as Valve releases a case, that's when they believe that the game is done. Ah, crap. Okay, that's bad, but this update is a good step. I like this update a lot. I like a lot of the things that are in it. Some of it I can't really see because it's like, we fixed the peekers' advantage. Certainly better than their previous update. That must have been a pivotal gap in the geometry. Most importantly, we have a lot of adjustments to sub-tick shooting and netcode. It seems the focus is to reduce the extreme cases of peekers' advantage that a lot of people have been reporting. When I did my own tests on peekers' advantage before this update, I found it to be similar to Global Offensive in perfect conditions, but worse in CS2 if the enemy player had a higher ping than you did. I can imagine that the problems with peekers' advantage in CS2, the crazy ones that people are showcasing, come from cases where your connection to the server is fine, but the other guy had a lag spike, so things seem fine on your end, but then the other guy gets a ridiculous peekers advantage because his internet sucks. But based on these patch notes, it looks like they did fix a bunch of different things related to this issue. Here's one thing, it says, the amount of peekers advantage in the steady state is reduced by 16 milliseconds. 16 milliseconds is the time of 1 tick on a 64 tick server. It takes a whole day to do my tests, so when I get some time, I'm gonna do it again, and then I'm gonna post the results on Twitter, but based upon these patch notes and then playing for a little bit, it seems that, I mean, it's the best placebo I've ever had. With every one of these updates where they say they improve the netcode or they improve the movement, every time I hop in to play it, the game feels a lot better. Either way, this shows that Valve is working on the game, is looking at all the feedback that's coming in, and working on the most important things, which is the base gameplay. People do not play Counter-Strike for the graphics. They never have. They play it for the gameplay because it is a game that rewards skill and cunning, because it is a game that is smooth and responsive. So the netcode, the hit registration, the sub-tick stuff, that has to be good. That has to be solid as a rock. Otherwise, nothing else will work. There's also a bunch of changes to the audio. A lot of the annoying inconsistencies have been fixed, like when certain player sounds kind of were in the back of your head. I got that one a lot, so thank goodness they fixed it. We've also got a new M249 sound effect. That'll be really useful for the entire 0 people who have the M249 equipped. I guess now that we have Arms Race, there is a use case, a real legitimate use case in the game for someone actually shooting an M249. We also have new Zeus sound effects. The Zeus now recharges after 30 seconds, and the sound effect it makes when charged is audible even if you don't have the weapon out. I legitimately think we're gonna see more Zeus usage, not even as a joke. For $200, you get a one-hit body shot, which is the most important stat in the game. Remember that the P250 at $300 was overpowered when it was a one-hit headshot at that distance. And the Zeus doesn't take up an inventory slot, it has its own dedicated slot. Also, it has a skin now that has to buff it by at least 12%. We have a new refund all button in the buy menu. Thank goodness. I don't know how many times I've bought, my team has called a save, and then I was just too lazy to skim around the buy menu selling everything, so I just pretended not to hear them. The default bind is the delete button, and the command is sell back all. Hey, look at this. Added a setting to disable first-person bullet tracers. I asked for this one. Oh my gosh, they actually did it. I've been having problems with controlling recoil in CS2 because the tracers throw me off. They come from the view model and are weirdly brighter halfway through travel, so it gives me a false impression of where the rounds are going. Now listen, I played a bunch of games with the tracers off. I played better with the tracers on. I think I actually might leave them on even after all of that. That doesn't mean I was wrong to ask for the option. Counter-Strike works best when the players can set up the game how they please. The players will find the optimal way to play the game. Along those lines, I think a slam dunk update would be an option for left-handed view models and reducing the bobbing effect of the view model. A lot of longtime players have been asking for this. I think it's a no-brainer to add, even though I personally wouldn't use the option. As I was editing this video, we got another update to the game, so let's check it out. Vertigo fixed a gap in the world geometry. Fixed an issue where collisions between players were jittery. Oh my gosh, this was the most annoying issue. It was especially bad when playing with my high ping friends. If you see this symbol next to someone's name, this doesn't mean that they got a Zeus kill. It's a new method to trick players, encourage players to continually play the game every week. If you get enough experience in the week, which you get by playing official game modes, you get this symbol. And if you keep the streak going by logging in and playing every week, the badge will slowly upgrade. So if you see this symbol, that means the person is addicted to Counter-Strike. I think it's ugly and distracting. There are new match loss emotes. At least they're not hitting the gritty or doing the nay-nay. I think they're good for game polish. Kids like emotes, they like the dancing. I've never danced in my life. If somebody catches me dancing, I want you to put me down. Smokes have been broken, reworked. They now create shadows, which is very important. There were many positions where your shadow would give you away when you were pushing through a smoke. Now you can even use smokes to cleverly block shadow advantage angles. However, it did introduce some weird artifacting. I don't think it looks very good, and a lot of people have been reporting FPS drops. I don't think this update was ready for prime time. It needs more work, but the idea of the smoke creating a shadow is a good thing. There are improvements to Serve. When Global Offensive got Thanos snapped, all of the sub-communities evaporated into dust overnight. I do think that using development hours to cater to those communities is a good use of resources. Counter-Strike is more than just 5v5 competitive, and it always has been. All that being said, I think we need 128-tick servers and a working anti-cheat. I've been beating that drum for over 10 years. I'm not gonna stop. My new tradition for CS2, when they release a new case for the update, when I make my update video, I'm gonna open the first case so that I can show off the new knife. Now, these are all community-made skins. It's nice to see Valve carrying on the long-standing tradition of having the community make their game for them. It's a blue, but like, holy crap. I'm not a skin community guy. I don't really know anything about that stuff, but the new weapon finishes, to me, they look really, really good. I figured out the plan. They make all the old skins look like crap when they port them over so that you want to get the new ones. The update that I think the skin community is going to be most excited about is you can place stickers wherever you want on the weapons. You can rotate them. This allows people to be a little bit more creative. Let's see what they're up to. Oh no! TheWarOwl's second law of game design. The level of customizability in a game is directly proportional to how easily you can create a penis. Arms race is back, baby. A lot of people are happy about this. Gun game is an old Counter-Strike game mode. It's a classic. Here's my hot take on the game modes. Counter-Strike 2 was an opportunity to remake and improve existing systems. They didn't do that. They're just porting over the existing ones. I think this is a massive missed opportunity. However, I will tell you how they made Arms Race on the technical side is interesting and bodes well for the modding community, and that's all I'm going to say about that. There are a lot of different smaller things in this update, which tells me that you got a lot of different people working on different things, all of which have been improved. I really like this update, and I like most of the things in it, but it's tough to see the bigger picture right now, so let me try to explain it. Have you ever tried to undo a big, nasty knot? Just a mess of loops and madness. If you take one string and focus on one, and you just pull it, the whole thing gets worse. It tightens up everywhere else. The best way is to slowly loosen every area all over the thing. It doesn't seem like you're making much progress, but eventually it gets to the point where you just pull it and it comes apart. Thank you guys very much for watching. I am TheWarOwl, and that was a metaphor, by the way, and I still have no closer.